What's up, guys? I am your toastess with the mostest, Satoshi. It says here I'm Circa, but I'm not. I'm a piece of toast. Welcome to Hxro Labs live stream. RT couldn't be here this week. The man has 3 kids now, okay? And 2 of them are newborns. And I just went through that whole rigmarole over the last. Oh, thank you so much. Producer just switched my name to Satoshi. Satast Oshi. I mean, that's fine. RT's got 2 newborns, so he's going through what can only be described as literal, literally the gauntlet, right? You don't get much sleep at all. So I feel for him. I'm here to fill in for him on his normal Tuesday stream. So we're gonna go over some stuff. Okay, we got some questions, some topics pulled from the pit. If you're not in the pit and you want to be a part of the degeneracy, the fun, the shit posting, the jokes, the jests, then go to hxro.com, click on the community tab, and join the pit. So we're gonna start up, go through it. We're gonna start off with a market overview and just look at this mess of a chart I got pulled up here. And we're going to go over a few different assets that were asked in the pit and kind of get like some analysis on them. I'm not going to go too deep with any hardline opinions. We're just going to let the charts tell us what's up. So first of all, let's start off with Bitcoin and what's transpired since we last spoke. We were definitely looking very bearish after this sort of sweep here. That was back at the end of May. After May closed, it really seemed like, okay, we're headed into a final descent for summer. And then we got the Binance news. Okay, so I managed to catch this short, which was pretty cool. I had spotted this sort of PO3 here, which is an ICT trading term. For those of you who don't know, what's a PO3? It's the power of 3. Now, this is a pretty sloppy / messy power of 3, but basically what you'll see is you'll see a consolidation in a range, okay? This really doesn't qualify, but this is your first step. Normally, you'd like to see a consolidation in a range that's like this long, right? Pretty long, but I kind of just took it here. You'll see a sweep to one side of the range, so you'll go outside the bounds of that range. But then you'll start to build back into the range. And normally when that happens, you can expect, or at least you can target, rotation to the other side and excess. I was targeting the previous Monday high up here, but we never got that. We started to stall out here. I think I closed somewhere around here, just embarrassingly low. Didn't milk that for all it was worth, but whatever. Then finally, like a day later, we got that sweep. This still didn't make it to the target I had outlined, but then we got the Binance news. I was already short after this sweep, and once the Binance news came in, we were already going down, right? We were already going down to somewhere we had been previously, right? We got this sweep here, we got this sweep here. So this was territory we had already visited, but it seemed like this is not going to hold this time. And then the Binance news came out. SEC is suing Binance US for commingling customer funds, operating an unlicensed securities exchange. And we went down fast, dude. We went down very fast. Now, we came down to this area, and at the time I was monitoring sentiment on Twitter, and the one thing that got me scared for my shorts was I was monitoring Nomad. Nomad basically was filling up on multiple different tickers down here. And Nomad's not a fade, He's a guy who you just don't want to fade. He said his famous line, "There's no need to be upset." And then he started talking about positions getting filled. And that gave me a little bit of cause for concern. But we never got above this previous low, which this line right here, 25,811, is May's low. That was the lowest it got in May. So this looked like range expansion. We kind of deviated, so I was just holding on to my shorts. And then we got the next morning, yesterday morning, the Coinbase news. SEC is suing Coinbase for operating an unlicensed securities exchange, unregistered. And we went down and swept this low over here, which is essentially Monday's low, came back up, and then lost steam and started coming back down. And I was like, okay, this is a sweep, a failure to actually break back outside. And it's not doing what it did yesterday on the Binance news, which was kind of the sign like, okay, this is a sweep before, at least filling this 4-hour fair value gap. And I mean, that was my target, was this 4-hour fair value gap. I started closing out around here, but like it went a lot higher. And then we went up and sort of yesterday around the late afternoon / early evening, we got above Monday's high and Monday's close, or Monday's open rather. And then we started coming back down. And this is sort of what I went over in the previous episode. It was a deviation, right? If I'm going to draw it out for you, this is what it looks like. And that's why it's great to have these sort of Monday levels always open, because you can spot what's going on. And that's what happened. So here's where, your entry was. And I'll show you sort of what was the target. So here's a good entry for a short trade. And really didn't want to see it get back above this level, because that's like sort of a re-deviation and is not, doesn't feel comfy. This was the trade that I took yesterday. And it worked out. And then so we spiked here, which I guess you could call it another deviation, right? Let's draw that out too. Boom. So if you were to pick like what's my sort of 1 hour range, I'd say this is it, right? You got 27,131 down to what's this level? 26,531. Pretty tight. I would expect when it breaks, away from these levels again, it's probably for the long haul. It's probably going to keep going. I don't know, sort of where it's going. I'm not really doing anything. I'm just observing. Pretty cool. But very orderly, despite how violent it was, despite how, insane sentiment was all over. Very orderly move. And just to recap, sweep of Monday's low, back above, failure to break down after significant regulatory FUD. That's usually means, okay, we're going to go maybe visit the Monday high. I really didn't expect that to happen, given how serious the news was, but that's what happened. Went all the way up to Monday high, closed back below, and now we're sort of, we bounced off of what you could consider mid Monday's range, but really we're just in the mid range of just this very small range right here. And I don't think now's the time to be aggressive in either direction. I think like you're just sitting on your hands, sort of waiting to see what happens. If I had to guess, like I would say that we go and we spend time back down here. The only thing that's the only thing that's shaking me up is Nomad. Nomad's not a fade. Very, very big OG, and he seems to be pretty confident here, which makes me think that what could potentially happen is something like this. Let's go to the daily and let's drag it down. So let's look at the larger context, right? Here was our deviation of a range from last year, a consolidation range from last year. I can go visit that, show you guys what it looks like. Okay. So here's sort of, what you could consider a range from last year. I think I drew it out on the previous stream where we really, this was just a peak above a deviation of that mid range of this sort of 28.16 to 32.37. And sort of a lot of people, bearish people, bullish people, were expecting us to at least go visit here, 32.3. That's, that's where that consolidation range ends. But we never got it. We just deviated mid, came back down, lower high, come back down for a lower low, lower high, and just a series of lower highs and lower lows, just bearish market structure. Okay. Now, is this where we get a final FU? Can we go up here? And if so, can we create a larger deviation? I think that's very possible. I'm not ruling it out myself. Definitely, like, wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if we finally got significant just sweeps, come rattle all this stuff over here. If not, continue and finally just like imagine the liquidity that rests between here. Imagine the liquidity that rests between 31 and 32.3, right? It's just got to be I imagine lots of asks, So it's an interesting prospect to me. I would say if we get below Monday's low and start eating into this consolidation range here, I don't expect it to stop, right? Like we've got this 24.2 level that I think everyone's eyeing as major support because of how it looks on the weekly, right? That was our highest weekly close before this range expansion. And also, here's a channel I've been tracking. You guys know I don't like diags. We're going to go over that today. But this is a channel I've been tracking because it's just been well respected. But so 24.2, if we get below Monday's low, 24.2 is kind of the level everyone's looking at least as far as I remember. And then if we get below it, if it's not a deviation here, we do have a range to play in. Okay, we got 21.789 up to 24.281, and your mid range is right around here at 23.1. So that's kind of what BTC looks like right now. Now, again, that doesn't have to happen. We could break out of this channel. We could go rattle all of these untested, unswept highs over here, which I expect it less and less. But certainly when we were doing this, up, down, up, down, up, down, everyone kind of expected sweeps here. And we just never got them. So it's definitely something that I think everyone is monitoring who trades frequently. So that's kind of what's going on with BTC. Now, I think we got some requests from the pit for other stuff, but let me just go. Coach, what's next on our topic list after market overview? Coach? Oh yeah, no, I haven't yet, but yeah, let me here, shut off your mic for a second and we'll continue on here. Okay, right now actually, which is hilarious because it's not even our normal stream time when we get this volatility, but we are heading for the range low. So time to pay attention, gang. But yeah, so the next topic we wanted to go over was, is this a bear market? Are we yet ready to say okay, bear market rally over and we're headed lower? I think I went over that, right? I see either situation as likely. I think it was the only thing that makes me think we don't break this range and just head down to 24 is Nomad, to be honest with you. I know that sounds like you should have your own opinions. You shouldn't go look at influencers for confluence, but Nomad's not a fade, dude. Big time not a fade. And so if he's loading up on everything down at these lows, it makes me think that we don't get him again, or at least we don't go lower. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Now let's see what else we got. Likely scenarios between now and halving. By the way, Coach, if anyone pops up in the chat or anything, please let me know. I don't want to be leaving anyone behind. Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu is the next thing we got to check out. All right, got it. So let's look at our distance to the halving. And also let's look at 2019, something I've been studying a lot lately. So first, let's get a sense of what happened before this happened with this bear market rally, which some people would argue this is the beginning of the bull market, right? In 2019 or in 2018, we reached a peak right around 19.7 here on Coinbase. We went all the way down to 31.42. And then this was your sort of DeFi summer, major rally. I would consider this a bear market rally because, what was the retrace here? 13.743 down to 3958. That's like let's take a look at it. 3958 divided by 13743. That's like a 72% correction, right? That's not a bear market. That's not a bull market dip. So I would consider this a bear market rally if we're going to pick terms here. We got all the way up here. And then we just sort of boringly, much like we are now, I mean, you know, tell me how this right here, let me map this out. Tell me how this right here is, you know, is materially different. What does this say? 119-day period. Tell me how that's materially different from what we're seeing right here. It really seems quite similar. Okay. So what is this? 119 days would be here. Okay. That would put us in August of this year. This is a very slow, boring correction, right? Just like constant, like we never got a big satisfying, we never had a big satisfying dump, dude. Okay. We never got that. It just like, it took until September to see that after peaking in June. Okay. Now, similarly, like we could say, oh, I mean, they don't look structurally similar, right? If the same time period in 2019, we were still very obviously going up. The weekly structure here doesn't look like the weekly structure in the same time of year here. Okay. So, like, so we're on the descent, and yeah, this is what it looks like. So, you know, I wouldn't be too surprised if we didn't end up with like a 72% correction. What is this? Yeah, 13 down to 7331. It's roughly a 40% correction. Okay. And then it took until Jesus Christ, 259 days, which itself was 63 days before the halving. Okay. To actually get that final dump, that COVID crash. So 259 days would put us in, let's take a look at it. That would put us in December, okay? December. And then where's our next halving on this chart? Shouldn't it be marked right here? It's in April, right? Yeah, it's right here. I don't know why it's not marked out. But that said, like, you know, it could take until then to actually go and like visit here. Could take until then. Could take until December or January of next year. It's gonna be a very slow, boring grind down. If you know this is to be any example. I mean, final rally right before the end of it, right? We had a 68.31 all the way up to 10.402. That's not nothing. That's like a 50% rally. And I see that as possible. But like, if we were to just run back the 2019 playbook, we're going to see a series of lower highs and lower lows with, you know, maybe a final capitulation event that could take us all the way back down and fill in. Do we have a monthly fair value gap here? Let's check that out. Yeah, we do. We do, dude. We do, guy. Let's check it out. Let's mark it out. Here's your monthly fair value gap, or like 2-month fair value gap, quarterly fair value gap, maybe. Okay. I mean, that could happen. That could happen. Conversely, you know, another way to look at it is how big of a rally was this back here in 2019? Let me move this around. How big of a rally was this? 315%. JC Chizé. That's a lot of percents. Okay. We're not anywhere close to that right now. I think we reached as high as, you know, a 200% rally. But we would see Bitcoin go to like 42 or ish, like RT's targets, if we were to actually get a similar rally to 2019. So that's kind of what BTC looks like. That's what might happen before the next halving. We might just see a slow grind down, final capitulation event. We might go visit, much higher. Really don't know. Just playing it level to level. So I hope that's helpful to any of you guys. Now let's check it out. Let's check out what our next topic is. Okay, we talked about all that. Oh yeah, BTC dominance. Okay. Let's talk about BTC dominance real quick, because a lot of people, I'm starting to see alt season calls out there. I really am. Right now we're sitting at 48 after making a week high at sort of 49 that everyone was looking at. And people are kind of calling for alt season. Let's go to total 3. But it just doesn't seem likely to me, guys. It doesn't seem likely to me. I don't know. This doesn't look like an exceptionally bullish chart right here. It seems like Bitcoin's sort of sucking the liquidity out of the market to fund its death throes, its death gasps. There are a few alts that look good, and we definitely got some requests from the pit, so we're going to check those out. We wanted to check out Render. Let's check out Render, gang. By the way, if you're on YouTube, you got any questions, please leave them. And Coach, if you get them, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. But let's look at Render, because I cleaned this chart up recently, and I like the way it looks. Let's see if we can get some more data, actually. Who has the most data on Render? We're looking at Render Tether US. Render US dollar? No, that's not it. Did Bybit have it earlier? No. Is this a dog shit exchange that had it first? Kucoin. Maybe Kucoin had it first. Yeah, Kucoin, my dogs. Very cool stuff, Kucoin. All right, let's add Kucoin's chart. And it's funny that Kucoin always. Oh no, it's funny that Kucoin always has the most data on shitty coins. All right, let's add that. Very cool. So let's look at my render chart that I currently have, and let's understand how it's derived. Okay. So we have a consolidation on the down wave over here. This is what I'm looking at right here. Let's take a look at it on a chart with more data. All right. We'll pull out our raise. We got this 1.9925. We got this 3.3199. I mean, different levels on this chart. And then let's get our mid-range with math. 3.3199 minus 1.9925 is this. We'll divide it by 2. It's this. We'll add it to the lower number. And that is our mid-range level, 2.6562. Let's take a look at it. 2.6562. That's good enough. Very cool. So this is kind of the range we have to deal with, and this is deviation. Okay, I expect us to visit, bottom of the range on a high time frame. Where I think that any upside could be capped on this if we do get a rally, which it doesn't look likely, but I would expect upside to be capped somewhere around this mid range of 2.6562. Let's clean that up. That's kind of what I'm looking at. And you can play it like a range. That's the great thing about Render right now. Very rangy, right? Like you even got a nice, upside was kind of capped around this mid-range, and then you got a nice deviation. And literally the second you saw it go above 1.9925, you could have been like, I'm taking the long. And it would have been good. Would have been good for you. Actually, that is where I started longing Render last. And mostly been looking for shorts since then. But given that the NVIDIA craze is over, or it's nearing being over, we don't expect NVIDIA to go to 2 trillion market cap, do we, gang? I say that now, and it's like that's going to happen, right? But we don't expect that. We don't expect Apple to release another mixed reality headset and have another WWDC. So all the kind of bullish catalysts for Render token are over. They're gone. And so, if we end up in sort of the bad end of the liquidity cycle and liquidity starts draining out of high risk assets, like I don't think that people are going to be betting the farm on decentralized GPU rendering. I expect us to eventually visit this bottom of the range, and then let's look at lower downside targets so that we know where we're at. I mean, these were goated range deviations too, just so you guys know, right? You could have caught trades off of these range deviations and done quite well for yourself. But let's mark out some other levs. This is where upside was capped, and this was also good for signal, right? Range deviation. I mean, getting back above it was huge as well. And let's go here and look at the, I mean, look, what do you see, right? What is this, and this, right? And we just used historical levels to map this out, but it looks pretty much to me like a range, right? Range high, range mid, range low, and stacked between this range, this consolidation range from last year, which is beautiful, right? Look at this. It's gorgeous. So this is how I'm going to be playing Render from here on out, is what I'm looking at for Render. It's just a really great way to look at it because of how many trades this would have given you. Now let's even see how this is the only place that it touched this low. That makes me think we should maybe look at this as our range bottom and consider this to be a deviation. Now let's see if we can find a historical justification for that. Yep, we can. We very much can. There's our historical justification to call this range low and this a deviation. Quite the deviation it was as well. So that's Render. That's Render high time frame. That's Render low time frame. I do expect it to visit range bottom pretty imminently. I don't know why it would stop here. If it does stop here and starts heading up, then I would target mid-range. And once it accepts above this, now acceptance above it is like testing it as support is a good reason to think you're getting acceptance. Is if we find support at this level, meaning it wicks down but it constantly recovers here, you can start treating it as support. If you get time-based acceptance where it just spends a lot of time consolidating above this level, then you might consider it acceptance. Find a spot. This is not financial advice. This is just what I would do. I would wait for, if I get a consolidation up here and there's like a range, like let's say on the 1 hour, right? We start getting a range that's like this. We just start bouncing back and forth here. Then I would pick a spot where I can get really great risk here with a stop loss below this mid-range and target range highs. I do think that 3.299 to like 3.3199 is top. I think like that's where you're going to have a hard cap just because of how much profit taking, how much, like it's a big level. How many asks. So that's Render. Let's move on. We got some other requests from the pit. ARB. I actually have a great chart on ARB that's been doing numbies. So let's check it out. Here's your ARB chart on the daily. And these are your levels, dude. You got range high, range quarter, range half, range quarter, range low. That is 1.1089 is your range low. 1.2688 is your range quarter. 1.4288 is your range half. 1.57 range quarter. 1.74 range high. And really, any deviation of this range low would have gotten you at least like if we were to take a range eighth, like that's what it got you. And it might be useful to draw out a range eighth. I have this level. I don't know why. I'm going to delete it. But yeah, like taking trades below range low, it has been pretty fruitful. Like it's hard to deny. You took this deviation. You got, let's say you took it as soon as it went back above. You got a nice like 15% move, right? If you took this range deviation, you got a nice like 20% move or 10% move or more. You took this range deviation, who knows? I have no idea where it's headed next. If we could map out some stuff, take a look at it. I mean, so we got some nice sweeps here. This has been swept, but it left behind this 4-hour FVG. So, you know, we could visit that. Upside liquidity targets look more like, yeah, I kind of like this, dude. Let's look at these. Could we bring it all the way down there? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's some good liquidity targets that are nearby if we start, you know, heading back up. I think that's really largely dependent on Bitcoin. But let's map out this other 4-hour FVG. So I would have these levels on your chart. I would have these FVGs on your chart looking for a reaction. To give you an example, right? Like this is the last time we filled a 4-hour FVG on this chart. I mean, there's more up here that we're not looking at, but look at the downside reaction. Filled the FVG completely, rocketed back up. Also a reclaim of a range low, you know? It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Now, one thing I would recommend doing is like have these daily range levels on your chart, just because like if we do get a sweep of all the highs on Bitcoin, like all of these are fair game, right? All of these levels. So have these, but also if you're to take a 4-hour perspective on it, you could probably get a cleaner range, right? You could probably like focus more on playing here, because any deviation of that level has been great. Okay, you might cap upside a little tighter, like here, or I mean, yeah, why not even look at it like this? That way, you know, all the trades since this has been established have been better than what I just had mapped out. So this is like a bit of a tighter 4-hour perspective, but my daily perspective remains the same here. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to fill these FVGs, guys. What do you think? I think that's what happens next on ARB. Now let's go to Solana, which I also have charted out already, so we're saving tons of time here. Someone in the pit requested Solana. Don't know why. For some reason, they did. And yeah, I don't know why people get excited about this frigging token, dude. Why? It is spent, I mean, it's like ARB in reverse, dude. It spent all of its time in the upper range quarter / range half. But these are your levels, dude. You got 26,820, which serves as range bottom for this consolidation. It serves as range high for this consolidation. You have 22,423. You have 18,176, 13,706, and 9.423. Okay, those are the levels I have on my chart. I don't know why I have this. Let's delete it. And you'll see here that I already mapped out arcs for where I expected it to sweep a range level and deviate, okay? I expected a sweep of these highs, these descending highs here, and maybe deviate back down for at least a trade to like 18,147. Didn't happen, okay? I expected it maybe, just maybe, to go above that and actually deviate this level. Because if it's like really bullish and everyone's fucking super excited about it, like why not? But it didn't even do that. It's a weak coin. It fucking sucks, dude. There's nothing cool about Solana. Now, I'm dunking on it right now, so I would, you know, set your alerts, right? If we were to consider this mid-range, I'll set an alert there. But yeah, it's just done fuck all. Like, it's not exciting. It's not high beta. You know, like, here's a high beta coin that had great upside and downside. Lena, right? Like, trades on this have been very fruitful. trades on this suck. They go nowhere, right? Like let's say you caught this deviation of this is the best trade on this chart. Let me map it out for you guys. The best trade on this chart is a short of this deviation here. It's the best one because it gave you all this. You could have targeted range half, and yeah, your risk to reward could have been like, let's actually just map out what it would have been. As soon as you saw it go back below, stop above the high, that's a friggin' 19.7 risk to reward trade. That's gorgeous. Okay. But that's the end of it. Once you reclaim this, right, you got quick movement up to the range quarter, deviation, which is where, you know, if you're paying attention, you probably would have cut. Okay. Then you got this like range eighth action here that's just like impossible to predict, impossible to like trade off. I mean, it would have sucked to trade off of. We moved back up, never actually made it to range high, moved back down, and then just like chopped around this range quarter level for fucking weeks, dude. Then we finally made it back down to not even tap the range half and back to range quarter. These are very shallow, you know, trading ranges. They're not very exciting. They don't move very fast, and you don't get very clear reactions. Now, you could say like, well, those are based on your shit levels. I have better levels that allow me to get better trades off of it. Hey, if that's you, great. But every time I look at Salt, like I've got one trade on this coin in the last like 2 years, and it's this one. And that was a great trade and all, but yeah, it's just not very exciting compared to what else is available. What's going to happen next? I have no idea, dude. It looks like it's going for range half, but it might cuck out before then and just head for the range quarter and deviate it and then come back down, but to not even tap range half. Who knows? But I'm not a fan of Solana. In terms of trading, I've been using it a lot as a product, and it's great. But I've been using YOLO NOLO. Big fun there. But I'm just not a fan of the coin and how it moves. Okay, OP. Let's look at OP, dude. Let's get a look at OP. This is kind of, yeah, this is a more messy chart. This is a more messy chart. Maybe we delete all this. Let me take a fresh perspective. Okay. I mean, this looks like a full cycle, doesn't it, dude? This is like a whole ass cycle. All right, let's map out high time frame levels. And yeah, so we got this. This is obviously a level. Oh, that's why it's so messy, because it is messy. It's a messy range. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's our level. Maybe this. Maybe that's a little bit cleaner. It is cleaner. It's a lot cleaner. Gives you this deviation. Gives you these two deviations. So I like that better. OP looks terrible, dude. It already retraced the whole move. Already retraced this whole. What did it even do there? What do we get? A big short squeeze over the last 4 hours? Wow. Look at this, dude. What the fuck? Oh, this is Binance US. That's why. Dude, I have to delete all Binance US charts off of my. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. Dude, for a second there, I was like, whoa. So yeah, if you don't know, Binance US is being sued by the SEC, and all of their charts are weird right now. It shows Bitcoin at 28K, which it's obviously not at, so it's weird. Okay, very cool. Yeah, that looks a lot cleaner. Let's get our mid-range here. I'm going to just eyeball this one. Let's say it's like 1.455. It's not. It's probably like here. Right? That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, one way of looking at this is, and it's a weird way to look at it, but pretty clean. The biggest deviation ever seen, right? I mean, we're at mid-range. We're at high time frame mid-range. That's kind of what's going on with OP right now. We have unlocks that have caused everyone in the whole market to expect it to just dump to hell, because like something like what 40% of the supply is being unlocked right now or was unlocked, and you expect that to be significant sell pressure. But nice deviation of the mid, held it, went back up. Now it's testing it again. I think if it gets below this mid range significantly, you're going to get not a straight shot down to range bottom. Like you won't get that. You're going to get choppy bullshit that's going to scare you out of any trade you took off of like finally dropping below this mid range and accepting. So I'm just not trade. I'm not going to trade it because it's like, okay, let's say you get the short here. I don't think it's going to go here very quickly. I think it's going to chop, maybe deviate again. It's going to be a pain in the ass. That's what I expect. You know, maybe I'll eat my words there, but that's kind of what I'm expecting on OP. So we went through OP, we went through ARB, Sol, Render. The last one we got is Syn, which is Synapse. I don't even have it on my chart, but let's go through it together, gang. Okay. Okay, cool. I mean, this isn't even the most data, right? What do we got to go to Kucoin? No. Huh. When did Syn start? February of 23, dude. What the hell? What's got the most data? Where's the data? It's not Coinbase. It's not crypto.com, I imagine. Unless. Yeah, no, dude. All this shit is from 2023. Do we have to go to Dex Screener to chart this? Oh. I'm on, yeah, they got Sushi Swap chart here that goes all the way back. Oh, it's 22. Yeah, let's go to Dex Screener, dude. Lame. Let's go to Syn. And then you got to figure out which Dex has the most data. Oh. Hey. All right, this isn't even the most data, dude. God, this is why this token just is perma cuck, just because there's no data. Yeah, not on Arbitrum, right? That's not where the most. 1 year. Oh yeah. I love this about Dex Screener. They show you how old. Can I filter by age? No. Ugh. It's pretty lame. All right. Well, since this is only a year and 9 months, I'm just going to use this Sushi Swap one. Let's go to a weekly. I can already tell you this is going to be disappointing. But let's map out kind of our range levels. Okay. Let's take some mathematical levels. 1.836. The hell was that? 1.8363 minus 0.4728 equals this, divided by 2 equals this. Okay. 0.4728. We got 1.154. Let's check it out, gang. I usually like to try to like snipe them off of an actual candlestick. Yeah, I mean, that's the best we're going to get, right? Yeah. So there's our mid-range, dude. Now let's get some range quarters. 0.4728 equals this, divided by 2 equals this. 0.4728. Okay, 813. Let's find that. Oh, nice. After I already drew these lines, dude. Thanks a lot, man. Here, let me just finish this out. So we've got these levels. Pool beans. All right, 1.48. Dude, this is boring as F, this chart, this asset. And I like Synapse, but damn. All right, let's check out the chart. Deck screener. Yeah, that is more data, isn't it? 20. Yeah, but it stops in September 21. I'm pretty sure that's the one we got. Oh no. Is there anything material that we want to know about that? Not really. Not really. Yeah. We just have a big consolidation. I guess you could say you got an important level at 1.5436 that is not reflected here because of the data. But let's just take it. Let's just take it from here. Okay. This is your weekly chart. This is your range high, range quarter, range half, range quarter, range low. That's where we're at. You bounced off of a range quarter, went all the way to visit. Did we really? Is that why people are mentioning this a lot? Yeah. Is because we just deviated another range quarter and are now almost back down at the other range quarter. That's hilarious. This thing doesn't have a whole lot of data on central exchanges, which is, it's never fun to play without all your data. And then it also isn't that much of a range, right? But you did get a wild. Was there news? This is the most was there news as fuck chart that's ever existed. Was there was there news? Let's check the Discord. See if there was news. Oh, BTC cucked? Is that real? Hey. Yeah, but as it pertains to Synapse, like seems like 47 cents is a nice bid. You can map out these levels and look for range deviations, but given that this is such a low liquidity, not very like trader I know who I follow even asked what Synapse was the other day. So it's like it's not a hot topic. Obviously, what is this like? What is this? What is this pump, dude? It's 81% pump, and so far a 40% dump. There was definitely news, right? Like what happened? Yeah, that's insane, dude. And like a series of four 1 hour candles. And someone asked me to check it out yesterday, which is probably where I would have said, well, you have this range deviation. I would target the range half. Little did I know, you get an 81% pump. Wow. Yeah, I mean, after something like this, I expect obviously a full retrace. I would monitor this range quarter level. I don't expect any trade after this to be that exciting, just because we cleared out so much here. That's about it, dude. I wonder if does it show up on anything else? No. This is only on the sushi swap pair. What the frig? Yeah, someone just arbed the shit out of on-chain versus off-chain Synapse. Because on Coinbase, it never did any of that stuff. That's very funny. That's hilarious. What the hell? Maybe that's a problem with the pool. Dude, it doesn't show up on any other pool. Wow, dude. One of these pools just got giga wrecked. I don't know. Interesting. I still think these are your range levels, you know? Where are they? Damn it, dude. How do you Yeah. I do still think these are your range levels, but this action didn't happen on any other pool, which is very hilarious. Someone got slipped massively buying a shitload of Synapse, and and then it was arbed away and full retrace. That's hilarious. But you see, like, it's definitely a low liquidity shitcoin as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, these are your range levels. I'd pay attention to them. But it looks like we're going to go to range low eventually. So that's all I got to say about Synapse, dude. All right. So we got through all these topics. We're coming up on the hour. Let's check is there anything in the YouTube chat, Coach? Has anyone asked any questions before I kind of wrap up here with a couple of chart tings? All right, cool. Dead chat. Let's go. I wanted to cover just for those of you out there, since this is scalping school, wanted to cover a pretty cool chart pattern talked about before, but haven't talked about in quite a while. And I'm looking for a key example of it. Yeah, that's a good one. No, that's not a good one. Oh, okay. Well, then we'll end off with LDO since I already have it charted. Let's take a look at LDO HTF, gang. Okay, so this is how I've had LDO charted as just one big range. I have some less significant like range levels here, but ultimately, like, treating this previous high as range high was goated because it gave you two pretty sick deviations, opportunities to get involved on the short side, all the way down to the range half. So we had these two deviations of 3.1 and all the way down to the range half, and then deviated that, and it gave you even more great trades. We have a 1 day FVG right here. For those of you guys who don't know, it's just a fair value gap. It just means we have, like, until this happened, there had been no candles overlaying this naked candle section here. If I were to spot you another one, here's one right here. This was an FVG until it got filled by this spike. Okay, see how there's just no action. No, you're all good, dude. If we can't get back, let's just end it there. Oh, I'm back. All right, sick. Okay, our producer's computer rugged for a second, but if you missed what I said, it's just that, like, you can look for a deviation of this mid-range level. I don't, I wouldn't do it. Personally, I wouldn't do it. And yeah, like, if it goes back down here with this like pre-mid-range, I wouldn't necessarily be excited about that either, because it means BTC is probably already rugging, and I expect it to play around in here. So kind of a no trade zone for me. But if we do head and we make new highs and we deviate this previous high and just come back down, that's a short trade for me. So I hope that helps. Oh, Coach, shut off your audio real quick. So yeah, so that's Lido. Some great deviations to catch. I would mark out these range levels. They've been very helpful. A lot of great trades have been taken off of them. But that's it. I hope that this charting was helpful for you guys, and you get to see a little bit about how I kind of think about these things, charting out high time frame levels, waiting for opportunities at them, sort of a continuation of our range trading stuff from the last stream. Guys, I will probably see you real soon for the pit live stream. If not, I'll see you guys next week. Good luck trading out there, and get wrecked. Peace out, y'all.